Hi everyone, welcome to you all. So in this video session, I am going to discuss about the another topic of or another technique of white box testing technique, that is nothing but condition coverage testing technique. So first we have to know that what is condition coverage testing, or what do you mean by condition coverage technique. So as I have already told you that it is a type of white box testing technique. And in condition coverage testing, test all the condition or conditional expression in program for all possible outcomes of the condition. And also we can say that condition coverage is also known as predicate coverage. So if your interviewer is maybe ask that what do you mean by predicate coverage, that means you have to tell about all the things on condition coverage testing. So condition coverage is also known as predicate coverage. So in which each one of the Boolean expression have been evaluated to both true and false. Basically, condition coverage is totally based upon true and false value. Okay. So now in this line, we are not getting all the points. I mean, we are not clearing what do you mean by condition coverage. So first I am giving you one example, then you can understand all the things, all these lines. Okay. But we have to know that in condition coverage, the Boolean expressions have been evaluated to both true and false value. So we have to use that true and false, this Boolean expression. Now by example, you will clear everything. Okay. So now this is the simple example. Like we are reading something A, B, C, D. So this is a common, I mean, very easy programming. That is, if A equals to 0 or B equals to 0, if that is, then we are printing the condition 1. Let's say it's a condition. So this is the condition 1. And else, if that condition is not satisfied, then else if C equals to 0 and D equals to 0, then we are printing the condition 2. So let's say this is the condition true. So these two are the condition. So this is one condition and this is another condition. So this is a simple example. Now let's evaluate the example. Okay, that how we can calculate the condition coverage. So okay, so this is a simple example. The same example I have also written here. Okay, now when we are talking about the condition, so we have to use it in if condition, or we can use it in switch condition, or we can use it in while loop. So if we are talking about the condition, then we can use in if condition, or use in switch conditions, or we can use in while loop. So now in our example, we are using the if conditions. Okay. So when we use the multiple conditions in our program, then our first test case should be designed in a such a way so that it can be evaluate every condition, whether whether it do in true or in false, but it should be evaluate every conditions. So when we use the multiple conditions in our program, then our first test case, whatever we are writing our first test case, the first test case should be designed in such a way so that it can be evaluate every condition, whether it do whether it do in true or in false, but it should be evaluate every conditions. So either maybe suppose whenever we are evaluating this A equals to 0, it may be true or it may be false, but it should be evaluate every condition. So every condition we have to evaluate that. Either it is true or it is false. It doesn't matter, but we have to evaluate we have to evaluate every conditions. Right. So this is the concept of condition coverage testing. Now let's see it. I will give you some example to explain. Like, so let's see. I will explain you with one example. So suppose, so the first example is that. So here read A, B, C, D. So first thing that I am taking the value. Suppose this is my first. Okay. Second. So So suppose this is a first. So first value I am taking that A equals to suppose 0, then B equals to 0 or C equals to 0. I'm just taking the value. Okay. C equals to 0 and then I'm taking the value D also equals to 0. So this is my first condition. So where A equals to 0, B equals to 0, C equals to 0 or and D equals to 0. Okay. Now, so I am putting this value. So A equals to 0. So here A equals to 0. So 0 equals to 0. So first step is that 0 equals to 0. That means this is a true, right? So this is a true. So the condition is true. And B, so if I mean whenever we are use OR gate or OR operator, so this is a OR gate or OR operator, as you already know that. So now if we use OR gate or OR operator, if on its left side true comes, if the left side true comes, then it doesn't check its right side. So this is the funda of OR gate or OR operator. Suppose, so here this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side. So whenever we are putting that A equals to 0 value here, that means 0 equals to 0. That means it's a true. So if in OR gate or OR operator, the left side is true, then we are not checking, we will not check the right side. Okay. So this is the rule of OR gate or OR operator. So whenever we use OR gate or OR operator, if on its left side true comes, so here the left side is true coming, okay, then it doesn't check its right side. So whether true or false comes on right side, answer will come true in both cases. So as the left side is coming true, then it doesn't check the right side. So I mean whether true, maybe the right side maybe come true or false, but the answer will always come in true in both cases, as the left side we are getting the true value. Okay. So now this concept is clear. So what will happen in the case? So what will happen in that case? So suppose here A equals to 0. So here A equals to 0, A value equals to 0, then 0 equals to 0. So that means it's a true. Then we are not checking the right side, because the OR logic is that if the left side is coming the true, then we are not checking the right side. Maybe right side may become true or false, but the answer will be true in all cases, in both cases. Okay. So here the condition we are getting that the answer is true. Right. So what will happen in the case 1? So this is the case 1. So what will happen in the case 1? So in this test case, as we took the value of A equals to 0, so out of the out of the 4 condition, here this is the one condition, this is the another condition, this is the another condition, and this is the another condition. So 4 conditions, we are checking only one condition and it is satisfying the true value. That means out of 4, so out of 4 condition, only one condition checked, means the conditions coverage. So here the condition coverage. So we are writing like this, CC, conditions coverage equals to 25%. Okay. Now clear? Now clear that, the rule 1. So we are clear about that step 1. Now I am taking one example. Let's say this is the case 2. So case 2, we are taking the value like that, A equals to 1 and B equals to 0 and C equals to 0 and also D equals to 0. So this is my second condition. So where A equals to 0, B equals to 0, C equals to 0 and D equals to 0. Now I am putting the value here. So here A equals to 1. So 1 equals to 0. 1 equals to 0. No. 1. So here A value is equal to 1. So 1 equals to 0? No. That means it's a false. Okay. Now b equals to 0. So 0 equals to 0. So here 1 equals to 0, and here, so this is the false value. 1 equals to 0. Whenever we are writing this, I mean 1 equals to 0. That means it's a false. It's a false value. Then we are go to the next condition. So this condition we have to go, because the OR operator, if the left side is true, then we are not checking the right side. But if the left side is false, then obviously we have to go to the right side. We have to go to the next condition, right? So as we are taking the value a equals to 1, then 1 equals to 0, it's a false. Then obviously we have to go to the second condition, where b equals to 0. That means b value 0. So 0 equals to 0. Yes, it's a true. It's a true. So it doesn't mean what the result is coming. The result may be come on true or false, but we have to check the conditions. So how many conditions? We have checked 2 conditions. These conditions we checked and this condition we checked. So the value, I mean the condition coverage. So the condition coverage will be, 50%. So we have, as we have satisfied, or we have checked the 2 conditions out of the 4 conditions, those are condition coverage will be the 50%. Now I am repeating these 2 conditions once again. So as the OR gate or OR operator, it says that if the left condition is coming true, then it doesn't check the right condition. Maybe the right condition comes true or false, but it will not check, because we are getting the left condition as a true value. But that I have said, I mean that I have discussed on the condition 1 or step 1. Now step 2, as the left condition we are getting the false values, then obviously we have to go to the second condition, and second condition is satisfying. I mean second condition is a true value. So in condition coverage, we are checking all the things of based on conditions, then it doesn't mean it's coming the true or false. We have to check the how much conditions we covered. So here 2 conditions we covered. The condition 1 is this is the condition 1, this is the condition 2. Okay, so the condition coverage will be like that, 50% out of this 4 condition. So now here, now I'm go to the condition number 3. I mean step number 3. So I'm go to the step 3 or condition 3 or example 3. Okay. Now, this example, I am taking the value like that. A equals to 1, B equals to 1, C equals to 0, or D equals to 0. I am taking the value like that. Now, what will happen? So, now A equals to 1. A equals to 1. So, 1 equals to 0. So, 1 equals to 0. It's getting the false value. Then again, so the control go to the next condition. Okay, so the next condition b equals to 0. That means b value is 1. So here also 1 equals to 0. Now it go to the else condition, because these 2 conditions were getting the false. Now control go to the else part. Now we are checking the c value here. Okay, so c value, c equals to 0. C equals to 0. That means 0 equals to 0. It's satisfying the conditions. It's satisfying the conditions. And here we are getting the and d equals to 0. That means here also 0 equals to 0. Now one funda is there for AND gate or AND operator. We have already discussed about the OR gate or OR operator. What is the OR operator is work. Now what is the funda of AND operator? So in AND both are checked. So as we are putting here AND, then for the AND operator we have to check both C and D. So we have to check both the left side and as well as right side. But in the OR operator, in the left side is coming the true value, then it doesn't check the right side. Okay, but in AND operator we have to check both both left hand side and right hand side. So for and, if any one became false, then the overall answer will be coming false. So in AND operator, if any value, so suppose if this value is coming the false, then the whole answer will be coming the false. Okay, remember, I am repeating once again. So if we use the AND operator, then in AND both are checking, both will be checked. For AND, if any one became false, then overall answer will become false. Okay, if anyone is become false, then the whole answer will be false. This is the conditions of, this is the funda of AND operator. So now here C equals to 0, that means 0 equals to 0, and also the AND operator, for the AND operator we have to check the both. Then D equals to 0, yeah, 0 equals to 0, that means the both value we are getting the true. So now that means here we have checked all the 4 conditions, the condition A, condition B, condition C, and condition D. So we are checking the four conditions. Okay, we are checking the 4 conditions. That means we are covering the 4th condition. So the condition coverage will be here 100%. 100% condition coverage we are getting from here. Okay. So now I'm repeating from the very beginning. So now first we are getting one if condition, that is A equals to 0 or B equals to 0. So here we are taking the value of A, B, C and D. So here A equals to 0, that means 0 equals to 0, that is 2. So as per OR operator or OR gate, if the left side is coming the true value, then it doesn't check the right side. Maybe the right side come true or false, but it will not check, because the left side, if the left side is true, that means it satisfies. Okay, so no problem. So now A equals to 0, that means 0 equals to 0, that means it's a true. Then we are then it will print the condition 1. So that will print, and the control go to the last step. So here the control will close. I mean, it will close the program. Okay. Now I am taking another example, that is where we are getting the where we are taking the value A equals to 1, B equals to 0, C equals to 0, and D equals to 0. So here 1 equals to 0. That means we are getting the false. So if we are getting the false, then we have to go to the next condition where B equals to 0. So what is the B value? B value is the 0. That means 0 equals to 0. So we are getting the true value here. That means we are covered 2 conditions. So as we are getting the true value here, then it will print the condition 1 and the program will close. Then for the condition coverage, we are getting 50% because we have covered the 2 conditions out of that 4 conditions. Okay. Now I am taking the value in such a way like that, where A equals to 1, B equals to 1, C equals to 0, and D equals to 0. So for that case, so here we are putting the value A equals to 0, that means 1 equals to 0, that is the false value. So this is the false. So this is the false value. And for the B condition, now go to the B condition. B condition is also 1 equals to 0. So that is also the false value. Now, so now it will go to the control, will go to the else part, where else part, the if C equals to 0, that means 0 is equals to 0. That means it's a true. It's a true. And also the 0, and also for the condition and 4, that is condition D equals to 0, that is also true value. And for the AND gate or AND operator, the both left hand side and right hand side will be checked. I mean, both conditions will be checked. So for AND operator, if anyone become false, then the overall conditions will be false. Okay. So now as we are checking the, so here what will print? It will print the condition 2. So as we are covering the 4 conditions in the step, so the condition coverage will be the 100%. Okay. So this is the logic of, or this is the funda of conditions coverage testing. Okay, so now I think this will be very helpful to you guys. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please comment me. If you like my video, one thumbs up, share this channel to your nearest friends, and also subscribe my channel EduPaat. So see you in the next videos with some another topic of software testing. Thank you.